You've been reading the charter for Donald Trump's so-called Board of Peace. So tell me about the board and what's laid out in this draft document.
So the Board of Peace was originally authorized by the UN Security Council in November, meant to oversee the future of the peace process in Gaza. The charter document that we have seen sent out to countries with invitations to join this week is a much more expansive version of what was originally authorized, and I think it shocked many. Something important to note is even though the Board of Peace's authorization has to do with Gaza, the charter itself doesn't mention it, and the thing that is clearest is that it is meant to formalize and institutionalize Donald Trump's power as kind of the chairman or head of a new organization. It's not the United States, it's not set to a particular term, but instead he has the power to be chairman of this for life.
The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra.
Australia has also been invited. Just speculating here, is it in Australia's interest to accept this invitation?
I don't think it is in Australia's interest to accept the invitation. I think it's in Australia's interest to take the approach that, for example, Canada has done, which is to not outright turn down the invitation, therefore potentially triggering retaliatory tariffs or actions, but instead to set preconditions that are not actually going to be met. The Canadians have set preconditions related to the spending of this $1 billion that Trump has talked about in order to gain permanent membership on the Board of Peace. And it's unlikely that Trump would accede to these demands. And so likely the Canadians are going to be able to say, well, we're not declining, but we're just waiting for these changes to be made. Because all world leaders are having to negotiate this balance where this is a deeply unfair international board which premises Trump above all else and allows him to make decisions to shut down the decisions of every other world leader. But at the same time, he has shown it very clear that he's vindictive when leaders don't sign up to what he wants.
And despite being initially critical of this body, Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to join. How significant is that?
I think it's something that many of us are watching because the fact that the Board of Peace itself does not have any Palestinians on its executive board, and you haven't seen the state of Palestine being invited to join this. So I think many are concerned about the implications that will have.